right, well, I'm going to go ahead and get started. I see at least one more person still back there waiting, but they'll make their way down here eventually. So hello, I'm Teagle, and today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about one more people. Today I'm going to talk to you about my new avatar, the Teagle horse. And throughout this presentation, please stay off voice so that everyone can hear me. And hold your questions till the end. I'll be doing a Q&A at the end. So I'm very likely to miss chat in the middle, so. Anyways, so here we are. This is my new horse, the Teagle horse avatar. This is a brand new horse. This is not an update for the Breeder's Choice horses. This is actually not even going to be sold under the Breeder's Choice brand. I will be releasing this horse under my second brand, which is called Teagle. I don't know if many of you even know that it's there, but in the U-shaped Breeder's Choice building, one side is Breeder's Choice and the other side is Teagle. So when this horse goes for sale, you will find it over there on the Teagle side. This is a bento horse, which means it uses the new bones from the Second Life bento project that we've been working on with Linden Labs for about the last year, November to November. And the bento project, if you're not familiar with that, is a project from Linden Labs to add more bones to the avatar body.
Please.
So what that means to you basically is that, hang on just a second. Let me mute my sounds. What that means to you is that there's more movable parts for avatars now, especially for mesh avatars. So there's additional limbs basically that have been added with the bento project. And in this horse, those extra limbs are most apparent in the movable mane and tail, which are mesh and which animate with your horse the way that you would expect a real mane and tail to animate with your horse. And in the ears, which are attached to the mesh now, but which still move the way that you would expect ears to. They're not a separate piece anymore. And of course, in the horse's face, which is all rigged and articulated. It's very expressive. And I will show you a little bit about that later. So yes, hopefully you are all here on a bento viewer right now. If you're not on a bento viewer and if there's a whole lot of headless horses standing around, then you're going to want to download that link that Apple just linked in the nearby chat and hop on the bento viewer really quickly, and then you'll be able to see us all. So this horse is modeled after a warm blood, but it is modifiable in such a way that you can make it look like a lot of different breeds of horse. So it's being called the Teagle horse. I'm not giving a specific breed to it when it goes live. It can just be whatever you want it to be. It can make a whole wide range of horses. It'll be very moddable, very customizable. And I may in the future put out some body mods even, which make it even more customizable. That will be something for a little down the line. First things first, I of course need to finish the avatar. As you'll be able to see today, this avatar is not finished yet. Most notably, it's lacking several animations and all of the sounds, since I tend to save sounds for last when I'm working on an avatar, so you will not be able to hear any sounds on me today. But it is in progress, and it will be finished for you soon. So, I'm sorry. Still a little bit sick. So we're here today to talk about some of the features of the Teagle horse avatar. And first and foremost, I think one of the nicest features on the Teagle horse is the new UV map that this avatar uses. So when I made the Breeder's Choice UV map, it was a first go. I was obviously a lot less experienced 5 years ago than I am now, so it wasn't as well optimized. This horse has a much better optimized UV map in that it allows you to use a lot more pixel space to texture your horse. It actually equates to about twice as much pixel space, which means for you guys twice as much detail if you wind up using one of these new Teagle horse skins. So if you zoom in on my face, let me hop real quick on a pose stand so I'm not moving around. If you zoom in on my face, you'll be able to see that there's a lot of fine details in the face, especially in the eyes, the nostrils, the lips, and the detailing of the face. If I were to take off my mane, you would see that I've actually textured out the part in the hair on the forehead of the horse where the hair starts to grow in a different way. And these fine details, I think, really kind of bring this new horse to life. It just means a lot more detail and a lot cleaner look for your horse. You can get a horse that looks a lot more like a horse, I think. The Teagle horse is also compatible with Breeder's Choice skins because I know that that's really important to you guys. I know you've got like 400 horse skins out there and you don't want them to all be useless overnight. You want to be able to use some of your 500 maybe, yes. You want to be able to use some of your existing skins, some of your beloved skins, and you can do that with that horse, with this horse. There is an alternate version of the body that comes in the extras folder that you can use Breeder's Choice skins with if you choose to do that. But if moving forward you would like to use the new skins and have that higher detail, you have that option too. With the horse, by default, you're going to come with 4 starter textures, and I'll give these a few seconds to load because I know it's pretty laggy here. So you have a black texture, and right now it's kind of a paint black texture. You have a bay texture, and I'll go ahead and change this to a different paint bay texture just so you can see some of the different markings that come with it. And you have a gray texture. Am I not on voice? You guys can hear me? Okay. And you have a chestnut texture. And it also has, with it, these 4 textures have obviously lots of facial markings, lots of leg markings, so you can customize your face and your socks. But it also comes with 2 paint markings and an Appaloosa marking for your body. So you have a lot of customization right out of the box right there. You can also, with this, with the chestnut texture, it doubles as a Palomino texture. If you throw on some socks and white mane and tail, I already have a white mane and tail, so you can see I look a whole lot like a Palomino. It's kind of doing double duty in that way. And you also get with this horse brown eye textures. I'll put on the brown eyes really quickly. And blue eye textures, which I was wearing just a second ago. And I'll put those back on in just a second as well. So lots of textures right off the bat. You have 4 different colors, 5 different colors if you count Palomino and chestnut as 2 different things. But you also have tintable options, and this is all being done through the HUD that comes with the horse. It's all one HUD, very easy to use, very intuitive to use. So there are tint markings, or there are tint options with this HUD, where you can take your horse and you can tint your whole body, you can tint a part of your body, you can tint your tattoo layer, which also comes with the horse. Just like the old horses, you have a tattoo layer, so you can add different markings, different tack, if you want to have a saddle pad on your tattoo layer or a sleazy on your tattoo layer. This has those options too as well. And these all come with tint options. So right now I'm going to tint my whole skin with just the click of a button. and it turns my whole horse blue. With another click of the button, I can turn my whole horse back to a white tint, and you can do that by hooves, you can do it by different parts of the body, so it's very, very easy to use. I'll go ahead and put my blue eyes back on. And I'll also put on my gray texture again. Let me find that real quickly. I'm wearing the gray texture just because I feel like it makes me stand out really well and it really shows off the details in this horse that I would love for you guys to see. Now, another new option with this new horse is muscle and shine. And if you're familiar with 3D modeling at all, these features are actually called normal maps and specular, which controls the way that your horse looks. It can add some more definition to your mesh without that definition actually being there and lagging you by having a lot of vertices. So this horse right now has what I consider a really muscular texture on, a really muscular normal map on. And in order to see these features, you need to have your graphics set to high ultra or ultra, which enables the advanced lighting model. And that will allow you to see normal maps. So right now I have this very muscular normal map texture on. I'll go ahead and turn my shine way up and turn it to white so that you can see really well what these muscles look like. So if you just move your camera around me, you can see that there's a lot of detail in the face, there's a lot of detail in the muscles, and you're able to control how much or how little muscle you have, how much or how little shine you have, what color your shine is, so you can make it work well with different coats that you're wearing. If you're wearing a black coat, you'll probably want to have a darker shine color than if you're wearing a white coat. This is all customizable through the HUD. But you can also set kind of a lower muscle setting, so I'll switch that on right now, and I'll give you guys a few seconds to load that. So this normal map, you get a little bit less muscle definition in your horse, maybe not quite as fit of a horse, maybe just a regular like trail riding sort of horse rather than a working sport horse. And you can also turn off the muscles entirely, which I'll do right now, so that you have just your mesh itself with no additional normal maps if you don't like that feature or if you just don't want to use that feature for whatever reason. But I'll turn it up again. So this is the low muscle setting, and this is the high muscle setting. You can also customize again how much shine you have through your HUD. So I can turn my shine down a little more, down a little more, and all the way off. Or I can turn it up a little more, up a little more, up a little more, all the way to the top. So you can customize all of this to your heart's content. It's very easy to do. It's all done with the click of a button. You don't need to know how to use the edit tools. It's all done for you through the HUD. You also, in this new HUD, have alpha options. So if you were to go to the alpha tab of your HUD, you would see two cutouts of your horse, and you can just click the body part of your horse that you want to show or hide. So if I don't want ears, maybe I want to replace my ears with a different kind of ear, maybe a fantasy ear. You can click on the ears in the horse stencil in your HUD, and you'll see that your ears disappear. And you do have a solid mesh underneath your ears, even though those ears are part of the mesh now, you're able to hide them. If you want to hide your hooves, you can hide your hooves individually, or there is a button to hide all hooves at once, all legs at once, that sort of thing. So I'll hide all of my hooves. Say if you want to use some cloven hooves, or if you want to have some paws to have a Kyla sort of RP, that's all customizable through the HUD as well. You can hide your chestnuts. If you look on the inside of your legs, oh no, I'm wearing a texture right now that doesn't have the chestnuts textured. That's my mistake. Let me go ahead and texture those really quickly so that you can see those. So if you zoom inside my legs, you can see that I have 3D modeled textures on my horse's legs, which you can show or hide regardless of texture. So again, from the HUD, if I were to click the chestnut icon on the horse stencil, it would hide my chestnuts. If I click them again, it shows the chestnuts, and that may be useful, especially if you're using older Breeder's Choice skins, which many of them have chestnuts on the texture. But I'm just going to set myself really quickly to unavailable. I'm getting some instant messages. Okay. So a lot of the Breeder's Choice skins have chestnuts on the texture. So if you wanted to use those older skins, you could hide your chestnuts with a click, and then you wouldn't have double chestnut showing on your leg. Or if you want to use the newer textures, you can show them with a click, and then you'll have your chestnut showing. You can also click just the word skin or the word tattoo for each of these alpha stencils, and it will hide your whole body, or it will show your whole body. So you can do that all at once if you need to. If you have many parts maybe alphaed out and you don't want to click them all at once to show them again, you can just really quickly click the word skin and everything will pop back into view again. And the last thing, I think, in this category of features, I'll get a little bit later into animations and things like that. The last thing, which will really excite you guys, is the shape change features that come with this avatar. Included in the box, it has several shapes already, and I expect many people to make many more shapes. I already see some out in the crowd who are wearing some custom shapes, but this avatar, it has a lot of customization ability with the shape of your avatar alone without even changing your avatar mesh. So I'll show you really quickly a few of these shapes. This is a draft shape. You can see that my avatar got taller, it got fatter, and it also gave me a Roman nose on my face. A bigger head, obviously, a Roman nose instead of a flat nose, some bigger hooves. And then if I switch really quickly to an Arabian shape, I'll get much smaller. I have a concave face now. I have a much smaller face, a much thinner body, smaller hooves. So it's very, very customizable with shapes flown. You can also customize the width of your nose. So if you want to make kind of a more drafty look, you can make your nose a little fatter or thinner for an Arabian. You can customize the size of your ear. They can get much smaller or much bigger, and this is all just using shape changes. This is my Andalusian shape I'll put on right now. It's a little chunkier. And this here would be what I consider the smallest shape. Oh, well, before I do that really quickly, I'll put on also my pony shape. So I really like this pony shape. It's a fat little pony with a little Roman nose. So this shape here, and these are also included in the box, this is what I would consider the smallest feasible shape from this avatar. It does have limitations on the shape slider. You won't be able to get like a miniature horse or a foal. You're not really going to be able to work that out, but you can get a pretty large degree of difference in size. So this is what I would consider the smallest shape you can get without making a size that looks kind of deformed, if you know what I mean. And this would be what I consider the largest shape you can make without the size looking deformed. So that's a fair amount of difference. It actually looks a little bit less impressive on the pose stand because it's keeping my pelvis bone in the same place, so my legs are going up and down, whereas if I were to be standing, there might be a little bit more of a height difference. In fact, I'll come right now, stand next to Tapple, my lovely, lovely scripter, who has put in so much work into this avatar. And Tapple is wearing the regular shape that comes with the avatar. So you can see how much larger I am than Tapple right now. And if I put on this smallest shape, then you can see how much smaller I am than Tapple. So it's a pretty wide range of variation you can get with this avatar. It's pretty cool. It's very fun to play with. I know you guys are going to have a lot of fun with that. And the last feature I want to talk about before I get into the animation demos is avatar complexity. And I know this has kind of been not only a hot topic, but also a topic of a lot of confusion recently, since avatar complexity was added into the viewer about a year ago and adopted into Firestorm maybe 6 months ago. We've all been getting a lot of pop-ups about how complex our avatars are. We've all been seeing a lot of what are called jelly dolls, which are just solid colored, like a purple horse or a pink person, and you can't really see their avatar. You can't really see them animating. But yeah, they just look like blobs. We've all seen a lot of that going on, and I know a lot of you don't really know what that is or why that is. And what that is an attempt to cut down on the very high complexity avatars in Second Life, which are caused by creators who don't have experience in the professional 3D modeling world. They've never had to model for games that have a lot of users, a lot of things going on. They've never had to model in a way that keeps lag down. So these pop-ups are trying to bring attention to you when your avatar is maybe a little bit laggier. It might be lagging some of your friends. It might be slowing down sims. It might be, it'll cause problems when you're competing in avatars, when you're running fast. High complexity avatars will definitely lag out more than low complexity will because you just have more to see, more to load, and that's putting more pressure on your computer. So one of the hidden features of this avatar that I'm very pleased with is its very low complexity rating. You can see if you have your complexity ratings showing right now, my avatar right now is 10,462 complexity. I'm sorry, my cat is walking on my keyboard. My avatar is 10,462 complexity, and that is wearing the full avatar without a tattoo layer. It is the full horse, the mane and tail that come with it, the eyes that come with it, the eyelashes, everything included other than the tattoo layer. And this is a very, very low complexity avatar for reference. On Second Life, the average you're likely to see is around 70,000 to 140,000. So this is a very low complexity avatar. When you add on the tattoo layer, it brings you up to, I believe, about, I want to say 16,000 complexity, maybe 17,000 complexity. So it's still very, very low. Your friends should have no problem seeing you when you're filling a sim with these avatars, as opposed to maybe some laggier avatars with a lot of flexi-prem manes and tails, which are very, very laggy. You should see a lot better performance on your regions with these avatars. So I'm very happy about that feature, and I hope you guys will be too. All right, so that wraps up, I think, the basic features. I'll move now into animations, which I know is what you guys really, really want to see. Let's see, starting out with, I'll just show you guys a quick selection of the animations that come with this avatar. Again, I haven't entirely finished it. I still have a few animations left to be made, but I will show you what I have. Starting, of course, with the gaits of the avatar. You have the walk. It is a very nice, calm walk. And you can see the tail is moving with me. You can see as I turn, my neck turns to indicate the direction that I'm moving. And then the trot is a very nice collected trot. And this avatar was modeled after more of an English style of writing, so it has a more collected, more refined look. Again, the tail is moving with me in a nice, realistic, flowy way. Again, my head is moving in the direction that I'm turning. Then you have the canter, which is again a nice, calm, collected canter, lagging a little bit. And finally, you have the gallop. And you will notice as I'm galloping, my tail is spread out behind me, kind of following behind me like it would be if I was moving at speed. When I canter, it's kind of a little bit more collected and flagged, like many horses would flag their tail when they canter. Same thing with the trot, it's a little bit flagged. And of course, with the walk, we have a nice, relaxed tail. And as I've been standing here, I'm sure you've all been watching my stand animations, but I will go ahead and set these really quickly to not cycle randomly. When you get the avatar by default, your stands will be random. And there are, let me check, there are 5 of them. So they will play in a random order, so you're less likely to sync up with everyone around you. You won't get stuck playing all the same animations at the same time. It'll be randomly selecting an animation every time you finish an animation. But I'll just stand here for a bit and let you see a couple of these stands. They're very nice, very calm. And move on to the next stand. And move on to the next stand. And again. And again. And now I've moved through these pretty quickly, so there's the sneeze. So I've skipped over, obviously, some parts of the stands, but you do have a little bit of a sneeze fit that you just saw in my avatar just now. And you also have a scratch when you bend down and scratch your horse's head against your leg, like a horse might do if they were just standing around. So now to show a few of the animations off of the HUD, you have 4 lay animations. And all of these, you'll notice, do pose the tail so that they won't go under the ground. And these animations actually do have an animated cycle where they stand back up, much like the animated cycle where they're laying down. It just doesn't just change from laying to standing, but that's a bug that I need to fix right now. I have These lays all set at the wrong priority, so my stand animations are taking over, but I will work on fixing that before release. You also have 3 sit animations. All right, I'll try and slow these down. I know you guys are lagging. Again, if you're being really laggy right now, I highly suggest clicking a few name tags of the people in the crowd and temporarily de-rendering their avatar, and that will speed you up quite a bit. There are a lot of people here, so you know we know how Second Life works. So anyways, moving on to a few of the actions, and again, I'll try and slow down so that you guys have more time to load the animations if you're being a little bit laggy right now. Yes, this is being recorded, so you will be able to see it later. So this avatar comes with 4 rear animations, which vary from a small rear to kind of a more threatening rear. So this first rear I'll play for you is just kind of a warning threat sort of rear. This next rear I call the Black Beauty rear. It's kind of the photo rear that you would see on trained horses on a video stunt set. I will skip the third rear because it is my favorite and move on first to the fourth rear, which has a nice feisty rear and a buck. And these are all video referenced, so these have been copied from the motions of real horses in the real world. And moving back to the third rear animation, which is sort of a stallion fight sort of rear. It's very aggressive, very untamed, and that one is my personal favorite. All right. You also get with this avatar, I know one of the rears does include a buck, but you get also 2 bucks, which are just bucks by themselves. You get this one, which is sort of a crow hop sort of buck. It looks really nice when the avatar is moving. And you get this one, which is more of an in-place sort of buck. There are 2 scratch animations with the avatar for when you've got an itchy spot. So this is the first scratch animation. And this is one of those animations where you can really see the movement in the face, which is very nice. And the second scratch animation is scratching your ear with your hoof. You also get 2 rolls. So this is your first roll. And this one doesn't quite go all the way over. He's trying, but he can't quite make it. And the second roll, the very rare success roll, when you actually manage to make it all the way over to the other side, which is something that I keep hoping that my horse will one day do, and she's never quite managed it. But one of these days, I'm rooting for her. She's going to make it all the way over. One day. Pony goals. You get 2 kick animations. So the first one is a single hoof kick. Somebody who's right behind you bugging you. Get kind of an angry glare. And the second kick is more of a like kick down the door sort of kick. Really big kick, both feet. So obviously a lot of roleplay potential with all of this. You do get 1 dig animation, or pawing animation, as some people call it. Same thing. You have a bite for that person in front of you who's really annoying you. Your rider trying to get you to do something you don't want to do. You have a stomp to get rid of all the pesky flies. It looks kind of funny while I'm scratching my head, though. I'll wait till I stop scratching. And stomp. Or, as has already been happening with some of my lovely early access testers, to start a hoedown by spamming the stomp animation. Which seems the obvious purpose of this animation, obviously. Oh, cat. Always the cat. You do have a spook, which is absolutely adorable for all of those scary leaves on the ground, or maybe a tiny kitten or a puppy that you didn't really expect to be in front of you. I do really love this spook animation. Unabashedly in love with the spook. And you have a threaten animation for when somebody needs to back off, which is sort of more of a Spirit Stallion of the Cimarron inspired, exaggerated animation. There is also a graze animation for when you go AFK or when you crouch, you will play the graze animation. So I'll just crouch really quickly and I will start grazing. This animation can also be played out of the HUD. Oh, let me go ahead and set away so you can see that. Come on. Now I'm lagging. Well, I hope it's playing. It's not playing for me right now. I must be lagging a little. Okay, so that happens when you are AFK or when you're crouching. And you also have a grazing crouch walk, which I'm hoping I will be able to slow down a little bit later. Uh, Tapple has a slightly older version of the crouch walk. I did some tweaking on that this morning. But when you crouch and walk, you have this little crouch walk animation. You can walk around munching all the grass.
Teagle.
No deposits. I'll just go ahead and take your money when it's actually finished. And I'll show you a few of the facial expressions that come with the avatar. And these are really, really exciting. I hope you guys really love these because I certainly do. So with your avatar, you have a lot of facial expression animations that you can play. I'll just go through some of them right now. You have this cute little grin. And Tapple, if you want to play along, I'm just going top left, bottom right, because these are not labeled right now. Again, beta, but working on that. So the next one is this little flappy lips animation. And then this silly face. You kind of stick your tongue out. There is a laugh. Again, no sounds yet, but that'll be coming. You have this lick your lips. For if maybe there's something really tasty in your rider's hand. A yawn. Beautiful yawn. You have what's called the Flehmen reaction. Horses have smell receptors in their mouth, so when they smell something weird, they'll kind of lift their lips up and put their head up in the air and see if they can get a better whiff of whatever it was that they just smelled. So you have that. You have the, I think this is, yes, the good smell. So if your rider's got maybe an apple or a sugar cube for you and you want some of that, you have a good smell. And then you have a bad smell for when your rider offers you something super gross. Because we know we have those picky eaters. And we have kind of an angry face when you're a little ticked off. 'Cause, 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 And there will also be some looping facial expressions that you can just keep on your face all the time. I don't have most of those finished right now, but I do have these two down here, which is kind of an irked expression. And then this one, which is kind of an angry expression. And there will be additional facial animations coming that I haven't finished yet. Some of those will include playing with bit type of animations because I know you guys are going to want to use those while you ride. I'm working on it. I'll get those to you as quickly as I can. And that about wraps up the facial expressions for right now. I will come back to these a little towards the end for another exciting feature of the facial expressions. But right now, I'm going to show you really quickly the riding system that comes with the horse, or what I have done with the riding system, rather. It's not finished. And if I could ask Zinda to come be my lovely rider. So this riding system, if you own my Centaur or if you own the deluxe riding system for the Breeder's Choice horse, this riding system is going to be a lot like those. When you sit on the riding system, it will automatically attach a riding system HUD to your screen, which you can click for some different controls to make some different things happen. Again, just like the Breeder's Choice horses, this can carry up to 3 riders at a time. And I'll just go ahead and show you some movements with this riding system really quickly. So again, starting out at the walk, you can see that my rider is swaying along with me. Again, I turn my head when I turn left and right. At the trot. At the canter. And at the gallop. You also get some bonus actions with this avatar. With this avatar's riding system, rather. Not all of these are finished at the moment, but I will show you the ones that are finished. You are able to rear with your rider. And I'm going to play this again in just a second because I know you guys have to load both animations and it'll look a little wonky the first time it plays. So I'll play it again and hopefully it'll be nicely synced up this time. And you can see that this is a very experienced rider whose instinct is to lean forward and push the horse down rather than lean back and risk flipping the horse upside down on top of her. We don't want that to happen. You can also buck with the rider. And again, I'll play it again once the animation has loaded for everyone. and it'll sync a little bit better. And this buck, again, is the buck that looks really nice when you're moving. So I'll move around, and maybe my rider asks me to do something that I don't want to do. I'll throw a little buck in there. But again, we have a very good rider. She gets me right back out of that buck and moving again. She knows what to do. And then when I've done a good job, when I've avoided all of the rearing and bucking and calmed down and been a nice working horse again, my rider can lean forward and reward me with a nice little pat. I will also show you really quickly the jumping that comes with this riding system, which I know is everyone's favorite thing. So the jump with this riding system is quite a bit lower than with older avatars, older riding systems. It should make jump courses a lot more challenging for you guys. I hope it makes it more fun for you. So I'll just jump really quickly right here. So you all can see from the side. And now I will go take some of these jumps and hope that I don't make a fool of myself. There you go. This riding system will also have the option to change your horse's lead to left lead or right lead, and that is done manually. So you can canter to the right and to the left, but you also have the option to counter canter if you want to do that for roleplay reasons. It can be a good exercise for your horse to canter purposely on the outside lead while you're moving in a circle. So that is a thing that you can do with this riding system. And last, you have the ability to, well, not last, never mind. You also have the ability to swim and to fly with your horse with this riding system. But again, those are things that do the fences one more time. You also have the ability to swim and to fly with this riding system. But again, those are things that I haven't finished animating yet, so I cannot demonstrate those for you today. But what I can demonstrate for you today is the ability to lead your horse. So when you set your riding system to be leading your horse, whoever is sitting in your rider 1 position will move to your horse's head and will walk beside your horse at the walk or at the trot. You can't go faster than a trot when you're leading your horse because your horse will run you over. And when you are in this mode, if you have a second or third rider on the horse, they will scoot forward a little bit and they will stay sitting on the horse's back. So that would be very good if you're role-playing, maybe riding with a very young rider who isn't able to steer by themselves yet. You can lead the horse for them while they're sitting on the horse's back and riding. So that's another thing that you can do. Oh yes, and it doesn't tilt. That is a feature of this riding system that comes with this horse. It does not tilt around, so I can stand here all day long and I won't tilt in crazy directions. I will just stand. So that wraps up the riding system. Thank you, Zinda. Appreciate the help. And now I will ask all of my lovely early access beta testers to come out here and hop on their post stands, please. And I will show you the final really exciting feature of this horse that I really love, and I hope you guys will too. It's just very fun to play with, which is what I call, oh, sorry, Baden, I don't have a post stand for you. I call them the expression sliders for reasons that will soon become obvious, because they are little sliders that you can use to customize your horse's facial expression and also the position of your head and neck. So let me bring these on up. Woo! And now you can see that beside each horse, you can see just a little bit of a snippet of the HUD that comes with this horse. And with those controls, you'll be able to control the horse that they're beside. If you click on these sliders for neck, head, ear left, ear right, eyelid, jaw, tongue, and tail, you will be able to pose that horse. And I'm going to let you guys play with that because really I don't feel like there is a better way to show off these features than to just let you touch them. So you can get started with that. Feel free to touch, feel free to play. If you see one horse getting used more than others, maybe spread out to a different horse. Uh-oh, Darky. There you go. And I will talk a little bit about these features while you're playing with those. So most of these, I hope, will be fairly self-explanatory. I hope that just by touching it, you kind of instantly know what they do and what they mean. There is a little bit going on here that may not be quite as self-explanatory. The first thing is that when you touch a slider, when it is inactive, it will be a nice light gray color, just like the background of a HUD. When you touch it and activate it, so you have some animation started, it will turn into a dark gray, almost black color, and then you will get a black X right above that slider. So if you need to stop those animations at any time, you just hit the X, and that will cancel out that animation, and it will stop moving. You will also see on the top left here, there is an eyeball icon. In the horse's background animation, the horse's eyes are constantly roving, looking in different directions, looking at different things. If you're taking a photo or something and you need your eyes to be locked forward, you would hit this eyeball icon, and then you would see a little black lock icon appear right next to the eyeball, and you would know that your eyes are locked forward and they won't move. If you want to unlock that again, you just click the eyeball again, and they'll be unlocked, and that lock will disappear. And third, next to the ear left and ear right, you will see what looks like two little chain link icons. And that chain link links the left and right ear sliders together. So if you have that link active and it's lit up in black, then when you move the ear sliders, it will move both ears at the same time. So it will perk both ears or it will pin both ears respectively. But if you unclick that link, then you'll be able to pose the left and right ear independently. You do also have neck sliders and head sliders independently, which is really great, not only for riding, that you can set maybe collection of your head, or you can make it yourself have a lower Western headset if you want to. There are various collection options in the neck, so you can kind of customize it how you want. You can get just an English collection or maybe a little bit more of a roll cur look if that's something that you like. You can make maybe more of an Arabian look that you have all the time if you're wearing an Arabian shape and you want to have that bent typey sort of neck. That's something that you can use these sliders to accomplish. But you'll also notice that these play on top of the movement animations, as I see almost all of the horses now are running. So you can see that you can collect or uncollect as you like while you're being ridden or while you're running around. You also have the tail slider, which I'm sure many of you have already noticed has settings to move your tail from all the way straight and relaxed to all the way flagged and held up. And again, if you want to do like an Arabian role play and you just want to have your tail flagged all the time, that's something you can do. And you would still be able to use these mesh tails that are made for these avatars. If you don't want to get maybe a custom Arabian tail, that's something that you could use the tail slider for. Um, the tongue slider, I want to say you've got like 13 maybe different tongue animations in there. So you can set a lot of silly faces for yourself if you want to. Same thing with the ears. I think they have somewhere around 13 animations as well. So you have a lot of different customization for your mood. And the eyelid, of course, you can set your eye all the way open or all the way closed as you need. And again, that's a really great tool for photos if you use all of these features together, the neck head, the eyelid, the ears, the tongue. You can get some really great photos with just regular poses without even having to purchase additional photo poses. So that adds a great deal of customization to the avatar. A great deal for role play, even if you've got maybe like a small dog or something next to you and you want to put your head down and look at the dog, you can do that. So these are all just really fun to play with. And I hope you guys enjoy these as much as I do. So I think that's about all I have to show you today. So I will go ahead and open up to QA now. And if you have a question, again, I ask that you stay off of voice. And if you have a question, please shout it in open chat. So type slash shout before your question so that I will see it and it will light up bold. Um, and go ahead, I'll take questions.